Hi, I'm joy enthusiast and frequent idealist Dan Umphin. Earlier this week, the comic community was robbed of a very special person that can never be replaced. Legendary comics illustrator, cartoonist, and all-around good person, Darwyn Cooke, passed away at the age of 53. And that has robbed the world of an incredible body of work beyond what he had already produced that will never be now, and the world is certainly lesser for it. It is not something, unfortunately, from which we will quickly recover. I say we because I mean the world at large, but more specifically the comics community. And I say we won't quickly recover because of what Cooke represented. I went and watched, after hearing of his death, the iFanboy interview at WonderCon last year, and you should watch it. I'm not going to summarize it here, but I will say that it's remarkable. It shows a person with an incredible spirit, and some of the things that he said in light of what's recently happened are remarkably prescient and kind of sad in that way. But he said two things that I thought were very important. And the first was that he described himself not as a comic book artist, but as a cartoonist. And he described himself that way very forcefully and very proudly. And I think that was interesting because he looked at the entire medium as something more than just a job, as a calling, and that he felt it was something that he could transform, that it was something beyond just making sequential art, that it was something bigger than he was, and that's beautiful. The other thing that he said that's very important is that he felt like superhero comics were getting just way too dark, and that nobody writes an all-ages story anymore. And I felt that way for a while, and when I heard him say that, it really spoke to me, because that's what needs to happen. I don't know that I have any business eulogizing somebody like this, but when I decided that I was going to cosplay, the first character I did was Green Lantern. And it wasn't the Jeff Johns, Ethan Van Sciver Green Lantern. It wasn't the Gil Kane Green Lantern. And it wasn't the Kyle Rayner or Guy Gardner. It was the Darwyn Cooke Hal Jordan. Because of the way that character was written, because of what that character represented, a hope and an idealism that's important, and that I think really is the heart of what DC is, but really the heart of comics is a belief that there is something that's bigger and that's better than we are, and that if we can tap into it, that we can make it happen. And I don't need dark and gritty. There's other comic book companies that do that, and I hope that someday DC gets it right again. I want Superman to save everybody from a building. I want him to have a fight in Metropolis and not let a single person die. And I don't care if that's unrealistic. It is unrealistic. That's why I read comics. I think at the end of the day, we can be inspired by the legacy that Cooke left, because he was a person who did everything that he could for the medium that he loved. He worked for years and years and years to break into the business, in between working on projects like Batman the Animated Series and really changing the look of animated TV for the better forever, along with Bruce Timm. But what he leaves, and the legacy that he leaves, is one of passion. It's one of brilliance, and it's one of idealism that I think of very fondly. This is the best DC in 20 years, and it's fantastic, and we have him to thank for that. I think to some degree, no matter what other reasons we might have, the main reason that we're reading comics or taking in any kind of fiction media is that we want something that's going to tell us that everything is going to be okay.